A woman lands at JFK with a passport from a country that doesn't exist. Officers are baffled. The clip explodes online. Millions watch, and conspiracy threads ignite. But did it really happen? Or did AI just make us believe it? Today we'll trace the origin of the Torenza clip, follow the older man from Taured legend that inspired it, and explain which parts are real and which are AI made. The video first circulated on TikTok, then spread to X and other platforms earlier this month. It shows a woman at an airport immigration desk presenting a passport from Torenza, a nation that doesn't appear on any map. Because the footage looks convincing, people started speculating about parallel universes, time slips, or government cover-ups. Investigations by news fact-checkers found no passenger records, no statements from JFK or US Customs, and no credible news reporting to support the claim that such an arrival actually happened. Leading fact-check outlets now say the Torenza video is AI-generated fiction, crafted to look real and to go viral. A passport to nowhere, the viral arrival at JFK. A video suddenly floods social media feeds, its grainy handheld quality lending it an air of urgent authenticity. In it, a woman stands before a stern-faced customs officer at JFK. She presents her travel document, a passport from a country that does not exist, Torenza. Immediately, the scene is charged with an unnerving tension. The officer's confusion mirrors our own. Where is Torenza? Is this a prank? A complex fraud? Something far stranger? The clip is often just seconds long, perfectly engineered for the internet age, a tiny morsel of mystery made to be shared. The video's virality was instantaneous. Within hours, it had been viewed millions of times, spreading like wildfire through TikTok X, formerly Twitter, Reddit. Speculation ran rampant. Some viewers called it proof of parallel universes, time travel a glitch in the Matrix. Others started amateur investigations, scrutinizing every pixel for clues. The story had all the elements of a modern myth. An ordinary setting disrupted by an extraordinary event, a lone, enigmatic figure. The suggestion that reality's boundaries are more porous than we think. This modern Torenza clip is clearly inspired by a much older story. The man from Taured, a traveler who allegedly arrived in Japan with a passport from a non-existent country called Taured. The Taured tale is an urban legend that circulated online for decades. It's often told as a Twilight Zone-style mystery. He's detained, pointed to Andorra on the map, then supposedly vanishes from a guarded hotel room. Reality is far less cinematic. Researchers trace the kernel of the legend to a real 1959-1960 case involving a man named John K. Zegrus, who used forged travel documents and was arrested in Japan for fraud. He did not miraculously vanish. He was prosecuted. Most versions are set in 1954 at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. A well-dressed man presents a passport to immigration. Close up, passport handed over. The document looks authentic, stamps, visas, other details, except the issuing country, Taured. He speaks several languages, including Japanese, and insists Taured is real, a prosperous country between France and Spain. Shown a map, he becomes agitated, pointing to Andorra, and claims his homeland has existed for 1,000 years. His passport, full of Japan entry and exit stamps and stamps from other countries, deepens the mystery. Officials suspect a spy or criminal and detain him for questioning. They place him in a hotel room near the airport with 2 guards posted outside the door. The room is high up with no balcony, the single window locked. The next morning, officials enter. He is gone. Vanished without a trace. The door never opened. The window stayed locked. The guards heard nothing. Even his personal documents, the passport, the driver's license from Taured, kept in the airport security office, are gone. The tale has been presented as fact in countless forms, often cited as proof of alternate realities. The appeal is obvious. It's a perfect, self-contained mystery with no loose ends. The official setting, the unverifiable passport evidence, and the impossible vanishing act combine into a powerful, spooky narrative. The man from Taured became a core myth of modern Forteana, unmasking the legend. The real story of John K. Zegrus. While the legend of the man from Taured is a compelling piece of fiction, it is not a complete invention. Like many powerful myths, it has a kernel of truth at its core, a real-world event that was distorted and embellished over time until its original form was unrecognizable. Painstaking research by writers and skeptics has unearthed the true story, tracking down obscure newspaper articles and official records. The incident that likely inspired the legend did not happen in 1954, but in 1959, and it involved a man named John K. Zegrus who was arrested in Japan. His case was not one of interdimensional travel, but of good old-fashioned international fraud and espionage fears during the Cold War. John K. Zegrus was a real person who was apprehended after he tried to cash fraudulent travelers' checks at a Japanese bank. When officials began investigating him, they uncovered a bizarre and tangled web of deceit.
The historical record supports a fraud case, not a supernatural escape.
Why do Torenza and Taured feel like the same story? Because they share the same elements. A convincing travel document prop, an airport setting, instant drama, and the cultural appetite for unexplained disappearances. That recipe is viral gold. There's another key difference this time: modern AI. The Torenza clips, faces, audio, and passport pages match what current generative tools can produce, allowing creators to fabricate convincing evidence without any physical prop. Then versus now, 1950s, forgeries and print media. 2020s, AI plus social platforms, hoaxed instant virality. As the Torenza narrative reached a fever pitch, professional fact-checkers and investigative journalists began systematic scrutiny. Organizations like Snopes, Reuters, the Associated Press initiated inquiries following standard verification protocols. Their first step was to search for any official corroboration. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the agency that operates JFK, major airlines. The response was uniform and unequivocal. There were no records of such an incident. No official reports had been filed. No detentions had been made. No internal alerts had been issued regarding a passenger with a passport from a country called Torenza. The official silence was deafening, a strong first indicator the story wasn't grounded in reality. The investigation then turned to the video itself. Digital forensics experts analyzed the visual and auditory components for signs of manipulation, inconsistencies in lighting and shadows, unnatural facial expressions or movements, slight blurring or distortion around the edges of figures. Visual diagram. A video frame with callouts pointing to potential AI artifacts, distorted hands, oddly smooth skin, edge blur. The audio was also suspect. The dialogue sounded stilted and generic, lacking the ambient noise and acoustic properties of a bustling airport terminal. The woman's voice, in some versions, had a flat, synthetic text-to-speech quality. These small but significant flaws were red flags, suggesting the scene was constructed, not captured. Furthermore, the clip's provenance was highly suspicious. Reverse image and video searches traced the footage back to anonymous social accounts, platforms known for hosting fictional content and digital art projects. The original posters often had no history, posted little else, sometimes vanished after their creation went viral. There was no primary source. No credible witness came forward saying, "I was there. I saw it happen." The story existed only within the self-contained loop of the internet, shared and reshared. It never connected to a verifiable, real-world event. This lack of an anchor in reality is a classic hallmark of a hoax. Ultimately, reputable fact-checkers concluded the Lady of Torenzo clip was a fabrication. Not a documentary record, but speculative fiction, likely created with editing software and AI. Its power came from verisimilitude, the appearance of truth. It was designed to exploit cognitive biases, our willingness to believe a good story, especially one that confirms our sense of wonder or suspicion. The conclusion: not a mysterious woman breaching reality, but a clever creator breaching collective skepticism with a well-made fake. In an information environment saturated with convincing fakes, passive consumption is no longer a viable option. We must become active, critical viewers. When confronted with a sensational clip like the Lady of Torenzo, resist the urge to immediately share or accept it. Pause before reacting. It's your strongest defense. Fortunately, there are simple, practical checks anyone can perform. They don't require expert knowledge. First, perform a source check. Where did this video come from? A reputable news organization, an official government agency, an anonymous social media account with 3 followers and a strange username trace the video back to its original post. Many hoaxes start on accounts making fictional content, digital art, or CGI experiments. If the creator labels it as fiction or art, but others share it as fact, that's your answer. No clear, credible primary source is a major red flag. Second, look for corroboration from trusted sources. A real incident at a major international airport would be a massive news story. Associated Press, Reuters, the BBC, national newspapers. Search a reliable news aggregator or search engine to see if established journalists are covering it. If only conspiracy websites, YouTube commentators, anonymous social media accounts are talking about it, it's almost certainly not real. Check for official statements from the airport or border agency. The absence of official confirmation is telling. Third, use the power of search tools. Take a screenshot of a keyframe. Run it through Google Images, TinEye, or similar services to see history and context. The core difference between the Taured legend and the Torenza clip is not the story, but the technology used to create its evidence. The myth of John Zegrus was built upon a physical forgery, a crudely made passport, and spread through the slow-moving media of print and oral tradition. It took years for the tale to mutate and grow into a full-blown paranormal legend. In stark contrast, the Lady of Torenzo was born in a digital crucible crafted with tools that make the creation of convincing fake realities accessible to almost anyone. The modern forger no longer needs ink, paper, a printing press. They need a computer and access to generative artificial intelligence. Today's AI tools can create stunningly realistic images, videos, audio from simple text prompts. Deepfake technology can superimpose one person's face onto another's body in a video with terrifying accuracy. Generative adversarial networks can produce photorealistic images of people who have never existed. AI voice generators can clone a person's voice from a small audio sample or create entirely new, natural-sounding synthetic voices. When these technologies are combined, a skilled creator can construct an entire fictional event from scratch. They can generate the Lady of Torenzo, create her passport, synthesize her voice, and place her in a digitally constructed or altered video of an airport. The speed and reach of social media act as a powerful accelerant for these AI-generated fictions. Today, a clip like the Torenza video can be uploaded to TikTok and, powered by algorithms designed to promote engaging content, reach millions of people across the globe in a matter of hours. The platform's nature encourages rapid consumption and sharing with minimal critical evaluation. The Torenza viral shows how an old folklore motif, the mysterious traveler with impossible papers, can be reborn with new technology. A 1950s fraud case inspired decades of urban legends. Now generative AI lets anyone create convincing evidence that feeds those legends. Fact-checkers, Full Fact, NDTV, and other outlets found no official airport records or credible witnesses for Torenza, and concluded the clip is fictional. If a clip looks unbelievable, check official statements, credible news outlets, and reverse image video searches before sharing. Seeing is no longer believing. Reality can be convincingly synthesized. Our senses can be fooled. We must rely on critical thinking and verification. Like if you found this surprising, subscribe for source links and a deep dive extra in the description. Want to follow up investigating the tools used to generate the Torenza clip? Comment below.